Wow, Blue Eyes actually won a regional. Make sure you guys smash the link, grab that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. This is very, very awesome to see because this regional is all about the power of Blue Eyes White Dragon overcoming the obstacles that the meta was throwing at it out here. And I'm quite shocked about this, actually. The fact that Blue Eyes was able to lock down not only first, but second place as well, just proves that if you underestimate Blue Eyes in certain regions, the deck is just going to shock you. Now, speaking of shocking, there was 4 Maliss decks in the top cut of this event. Excuse me while I go, wow, that's a lot of Maliss, and especially seeing Blue Eyes out here overcoming these obstacles. I'm kind of impressed with that, honestly, because, you know, in a showdown meta where, you know, Drill Beam kind of is worthless, you know, because these bodies are going to be coming back, it found a way to actually overcome it. Now, we did have one Mitsurugi duelist in the top cut, which is a little bit surprising to think about out here. Because, you know, Mitsu's supposed to be this amazing deck. It's supposed to be able to do, you know, all this crazy stuff. But I guess when your meta is just bombarding you out here with, you know, the downside of this stuff is... Yeah, and then we also had a Crystron duelist in the top cut of this, which I think is also really, really cool to see. That you've got, you know, Crystron who's able to actually kind of stand up to some of this meta and actually do its job. So, I mean, the breakdown for this regional, it got some pleasant surprises, which you do want to be seeing out here. But with those pleasant surprises, I mean, definitely breeds success. Let's pass on over to deck list. So starting us off here, we have the unbridled power of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Of course, I mean, as I should say with every one of these Blue Eyes lists, you're going to go with the 2 Blue Eyes. You're not going to try to push around these ratios. You're not going to try to change anything. You're going to understand that 2 Blue Eyes is formally correct right now, and it's been working out really well. Also, see, we do have the Fuas in the main deck. You do see the reduction of Ghost Bells here, which I think is still a sad day that Yu-Gi-Oh! Players kind of have to take that objective stand back and go, yeah, as much as we do like Ghost Bell, you know, right here, or as much as we like Valor, Ghost Bell is just a universally better card right now. Trap lineup, I think, looks fine. Also going with triple copies of the Solemn Warning down here. We've been seeing a lot more warnings showing up. I think this has been good. Also, 2 Tyrant Dragons? Huh, that's an interesting take. And how are we fundamentally getting to the second one? Because we're not playing the fusion spell to make this interesting. I guess this is maybe just a cashed hero counter in case your opponent's peeping on into your extra deck. Because this card fundamentally does some of the most explosive stuff for this deck. Pulling back resources is such an absurd tool that Blue Eyes can utilize. See, we're also going with the Bouncer. We're playing the AFLD for the, you know, just close out the game. And how many people called this really bad? It's still mesmerizing to me. See that? So that's your first place list. Now we shift on back here on into second place. See, we're going with 1 Valor, going with 2 Ghost Bell. Honestly, I can hear the argument on 2 Ghost Bells versus 3. It's going to come down to 100% a player choice tech option slot. You know, if you really want to make that optional switch between, I mean, that's fine. It's going to work out for you either way with what you're trying to do. So we'll take that. Also do see here, we're going with 2 Drill Beams in here. I think both lists kind of agreed on the number of Drill Beams, just because you want to be able to settle through and do your thing. And then, of course, got the triple Dominus Purges in here as well. You know, between the first and second place list, you definitely do see that Dominus Purge has lost some of its value in the modern era meta. It's not to say that this card is bad. No, that's not what we're saying. We're just saying that more people are choosing to actually step away from this card because it's not quite as good right now. And that's what happens with tech choices. You know, cards fall in and out of favor, and you do tend to see this across the board with a lot of things. I see that we are going with 1 Tyrant Dragon, going with 2 Ultimate Slayers, which means that we get to play the Malong down here, and of course the Meteor Logic, kind of clean up some of those options. But It's actually pretty good to see. I'm happy to successfully report out here that Ultimate Slayer and Friends is doing pretty much what we expected them to be doing out here. Next up, we have some Maliss action for you. Now, I do kind of expect that, in certain regions, you are going to see Maliss be more of a dominating deck. I don't really, I can't imagine this is going to change around too much out here. As people just kind of go, oh, hey, is this supposed to do that good? Playing one Maliss in the mirror, actually going with the GWC and the MTP, and of course, actually playing the triple I Need You down here in the side deck. I think that most people are going to kind of agree I Meet You is an exceedingly good card for helping you get on into that backup secretary just so you can get that extra little piece and get set up. And also, yeah, double Ingaribo. Yeah, this little furball has been a pain in the butt for several people out here. So to actually see that this is sticking around and actually doing its job, I think is pretty refreshing to see. So good list out here. Next up, we have our Crystron pile. Now, the first thing I see here is, we're getting away with playing Deception in here now? Like, this deck actually lets us do that? Well, evidently, when we see all of these different variations and these different ideas come to fruition out here, then yeah, you can play stuff like this. What is this? It's a 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 card package built into the main deck that can, get the bad cards out of our hands that we don't want to see out here, which means once we get the Crystron cards out, we can get them banished, we can do our thing, and that also ensures that, while we have the negate up and running, our combo pieces should be able to play. It's a unique idea, actually. I like that. Also, the cool thing with the whole wanted thing is you can trigger during draw phase, which gets you underneath, pesky hand traps like Draw and Lockbird, and actually allow you to set up. And I think that's why we all kind of appreciate, wanted being a quick play, because they wanted you to be able to dodge underneath draw. They want you to be able to do those combo lines, actually get the deck set up so that you can actually go and play. So, all right, I'll give them some credit here. I like this. I like that the inclusion of the Diabellstar package into this deck actually gives this deck a little bit of cool breathing room to actually get some setup and go. Next up here, we have, well, first of all, good stuff for actually seeing Mathmech Circular entering into the room out here, because ever since Mathmech Circular was coming up, I loved the idea of this card. I wanted this card to, help us out, because he's one of those very unique cards in the way that he plays now. He's basically, the gas Cybers guy and go. I'll see that we're playing Icon Connect in here, which, what is this? Reveal Cybers monster in your hand, apply, so dark, special summon in the revealed monster. If you do add a level 4 non-dark from Cybers from your deck to your hand, blah, blah, blah. Other shuffle into the deck and add an Ignister from your deck to your hand with a different attribute. So, searchability, right? We take this, right? Outside of that, going with the one Maliss in the mirror. I do see that we have the sales band down here as well. I think that this list, looks pretty much how you wanted it to be looking. And then we have the only Mitsurugi Rizal list to even show up out of this event, which is freaking hilarious to see out here. That, with as much success as this deck has had out here in certain regions, that this deck's getting bullied in others. I see you going with the triple Harpies Featherstorm in here. This is pretty common at this point. The Featherstorm is getting the ability to blank a whole turn away from your opponent so that you can actually set up is crazy BS, man. It truly is a spectacle out here. But, this is the kind of stuff that you do see just destroying the metas. And, once you get that initial setup and those turn skips going, it's pretty good. Dynamondo and the Lizard as well down here being nice little support cards. And, of course, going with the 777 Tachyon in here as well. But outside of that, another strong showing for the meta, but hey, it doesn't matter because Blue Eyes was successful out of this event. You have to see some, very spicy Crystron good stuff, and I like that. I like that, we have all these cool ideas actually coming together and working. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here in day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.